In today's episode, we're going to be talking about what happens after you deliver. We had an introduction last week, but this is the main introduction to latest Nigerian Mom in Town Season 2. Sit back and relax, and I will see you shortly. Happy Sunday, darlings. You are welcome back to our channel. As I said before, today we are going to be talking about what happens immediately after you deliver. Are you interested? Some of us have experienced it, and I will be sharing a bit from my own experience and from information here and there. So yeah, you have gone through labor and you have pushed out this beautiful baby. Immediately your baby is born, the baby is grabbed, and muco, things like that are removed from the nose of your baby, and then you hear that first cry, that beautiful sound. Beautiful, beautiful sound. Annoying to some people, but beautiful to the ears of the parents. If your husband is with you and if you're allowed like me, the mom is given an opportunity to have a moment with her baby, skin to skin, just rubbing your child to yourself, just basking in the moment that this baby is finally here. And if you're like me, you're praying and speaking words over that child that would last a lifetime. Okay? After that is done, they don't allow you too many moments. You can't spend like an hour because you have to finish what you started. You have to go into the final stages of labor. Your baby is taken away, and is given his own or our own, treatment coming into the world for the first time. So sometimes antibiotics are used in the eyes because it came through a birth canal that may have some things. Your vagina, that's the birth canal. And then also your baby is weighed. Sometimes your baby is cleaned, even though World Health Organization doesn't advise that we remove totally the vernix caseosa. That's the creamy white-ish substance that is on your baby's body. We'll talk about that maybe next week. Yeah, so sometimes your baby is clean, sometimes your baby is giving their first bath. It depends on what you as a parent want. And your baby is taken and put on a scale, recorded the length, the weight. So that's for baby. While you are in your final stages of, delivery, you're birthing the placenta, the home, the house in which your child stayed in your body. Once the placenta is out, if you have stitches that need to be stitched, if you had a baby via cesarean section or via vaginal birth, if you need to be stitched, your stitches are finally closed up, neatly and well. Note, both cesarean and vaginal birth are natural birth, and I'm going to be referring to both as natural birth on my channel. Natural birth is not limited to either of one of them. It's both of them. Both of them are natural birth. Now, moving on. Once you are stitched, if you had a cut in your perineum area, or if you delivered via your belly, cesarean section, once you're stitched or you're giving your stitches, you're going to be asked to rest just a little, and then a nurse may be assigned to you to escort you to, your sleeping or resting room or area. Okay, please allow them, especially for people like us who had epidural. Don't try to form Voltron, because sometimes your lower limbs, that is your legs, have lost temporarily the ability to move. So don't, the nurses are there for a reason, and don't feel like you're inconveniencing everybody. They are paid to do that job, okay? So you're escorted to your room, and then you may be asked to, wear a maxi pad because you're going to start bleeding. Whether you had a cesarean or a vaginal birth, you're going to start bleeding. Your body has done so much, stored up so much blood. Your uterus is going to be shrinking back, and a lot of blood is going to come out on that first few days and maybe to a few weeks. So that first few days, first 1 to 3 or 4 days, there's a thick blood that comes out, and it's called lochia. And lochia shouldn't soak your maxi pad in an hour or less. So if you are having thick blood clots, or your blood is soaking your pad in an hour or less, please call the attention of your doctor or the nurse that is with you and let them know, because it may mean something is going not right. Okay? Anyways, moving forward, you're going to start using, that maxi pad, because you're going to be bleeding. And then for some of us, you begin to feel your breast filling in with breast milk, with milk for your baby. It may not come out on that first day. It may not come out on the second day. It may not come out on the third day. So some people, even to the fifth day, they don't see their breast milk. But you begin to feel your breast getting fuller and bigger. Another thing that happens to some of us is you begin to feel perennial pains. For those of us that their epidural is wearing off, you may begin to feel that your perineum begin to hurt. The perineum is the tissue or muscle in between your vagina and your anus. So you've given birth, even if you didn't have a tear, that place was under pressure for a while. So you begin to feel, pains in that area. And if you had a tear, it's even worse. And something that you can use to help is, sitz baths. A little warm water whereby you sit in for a while so that he can help that healing process. If you also have witch hazel pads, or you can do a DIY witch hazel. If I have a video, I insert it in. I did a DIY witch hazel pack. You can also put it there because it helps with healing. Okay.
So the first thing I typically spray is, I've converted the bottle, is my witch hazel, which has a very interesting smell. Then I have two small bottles of both rosemary something. What it is? Rose water, sorry. This is rose water. Rose water, which I spray very well on the pad, the doubled confit pad. And then I have lavender oil, which I just put very, very slightly. You can see that one is kind of dense. And then I left my aloe vera. We have to increase this easy. Stuff at home. And then I just use the disposable pant, put it in it, and then I rock it. It was supposed to be disposable knicker, but I don't know, these people, I think they cheated me in some sort of way, because I told them I wanted a knicker, but this was what I got. That's it.
The next thing is they'll bring your baby back to you, They'll bring your baby back to you because your work has begun, your work has started. And you may notice that your baby pulls a very blackish, tye-ish substance called meconium on that first day. It's totally fine. It's totally normal. And you're going to have a baby that cries a lot. They're hungry often. It's fine. If you're not producing breast milk, and we'll still come to that topic, they will advise you to put baby to breast, because the more you put baby to breast, the more your brain is programmed. But even if you're not producing breast milk, don't be afraid. Your baby fed enough before they came out. It's something that they didn't tell me. So your baby is not necessarily hungry, at least for the first few hours. But I'll still advise you to take, baby food formula along that you can feed your baby with, just in case your breast milk doesn't come out. But you keep putting baby to breast. You keep using your pumps in the meantime. Another thing that you may experience is itching. It depends. I experienced a lot of itching, and I realized that it was because of the epidural, but it will wear off after a day or two, like serious itching. You may experience that. Oh, one thing I forgot to say is, after you deliver your baby and that period that they tell you to rest, you may feel like a shell. You are literally a body for your baby. You may feel like an empty shell, and you'll be feeling very cold. I don't know if somebody else experienced this. You feel so cold that you start to shiver. I was shivering severely. My husband thought something was wrong. Like my teeth was clattering and all that. It's also part of the process, absolutely normal. Throughout that night, you're in the healing phase, healing process, also bonding with baby, hopefully with your husband, you're bonding with baby. And some of us, will not have to interact with baby. Some people will be helping you to take care of baby while you heal properly. The next phases or the next things that come into bear is, you leaving the hospital, you going home. And some of us may begin to experience some mood swings. You're really happy now, you're feeling down the next time. At its extreme, it's called baby blues, but at its extreme is postpartum depression. And you have to watch out for it. And you also tell your spouse, hopefully they're watching this, to watch out for it. If you have extreme feelings of sadness, you don't want to touch your baby or you don't want to interact with your baby, and you don't feel like eating, you feel like being secluded, extremes, then please, you have to consult your doctor. Don't be shy. It happens to a lot of women, actually. It actually does happen to a lot of women. Later on, this lochia, after a few days, will begin to thin. You begin to notice that the blood is thinning. If the blood doesn't thin, or at some point it begins to look like you're bleeding heavily again, please go back to the hospital. Emergency, go back to the hospital, because something may have gone wrong. Don't take the few weeks of healing as a joke. Typically 6 to 8 weeks is when your perineum, that's your vaginal area, heals fully. Or for those who have a C-section, 6 to 8 weeks is when you are beginning to, get into yourself. And then you'll be asked to come back for a postnatal check. Then please go for your postnatal check. And typically, it's after 6 months that your uterus shrinks back fully. Another thing I want to say is that once you start breastfeeding your child, you may notice that you have belly cramps. It's your uterus shrinking. Don't feel it's anything serious. For some people, it's really painful. If it's too painful that you can't bear, please call your doctor. But then if it's like cramps, then just know that your uterus is shrinking back. After a few weeks, that pain will stop, and you will adjust to it. Things will adjust themselves, okay? And the final thing that may happen to you, because it happens to a lot of women, is hair loss. After a few weeks, you may notice that your hair begins to shed or begins to thin. That's because the vitamins, the hormones, all those things that were plenty in your body during pregnancy are beginning to reduce and give way to other hormones. Don't worry, don't be fazed by it. Use good products and just embrace the process. We'll talk about other things in the coming weeks. I'm trying to not talk too much. I think I talked enough. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I will see you next time. Much love.